All right, everyone, I'm in week 2 of my recovery and I wanted to give an update. The last update I gave was on day 6, which was my tough day, the day that I struggled, and then I think I might have given an update 2 or 3 days later, letting everyone know I was okay. So I'm doing great. I feel very blessed in my recovery. I've only had that one day that was a struggle. And if you want to hear about that struggle, if you don't know about it, you can go back to the video about day 6 and I talk about, my post-surgery emotions, because let me tell you, they were raging. Not in the positive way and not in like an angry way, but raging in the sense of like very emotional sadness, depression and everything, because post-surgery depression is a real thing and I experienced it firsthand. So, but anyway, I just got done with one of my workouts. You're like, wait, Heather, what the hell? You're not supposed to be working out for 6 weeks. Well, guess what? In one of my previous videos from before surgery, I'd mentioned that I got connected with a doctor of physical therapy that specializes in helping women return back to exercise and back to sport. And I hired her immediately after doing all my research and binge watching every little video she had on YouTube and everything. I was like, okay, I'm definitely working with this person, someone who can fully understand me. And she was an athlete herself and had a hysterectomy, and so she's been through it firsthand. Her partner, who's another doctor of physical therapy, also has gone through it firsthand. So yeah, anyway, now mind you, the workouts are very easy for me. It's not what I'm used to, but I am so grateful and feeling blessed to be doing exercise and movement. And I'm starting to record some of the exercises and movements I'm doing, and I'll be sharing that. But it's simple stuff. It's basically learning about breathing and activation with breathing, and then simple movements of the upper body, very few lower body movements, but still movements that are okay to do. And then just also being aware of what I'm engaging and how is my core activating, because obviously when you have a hysterectomy, they're going in this midsection, so that's affected. But I tell you, I feel so grateful and so blessed that I can do movement. Now, I'm sure my orthopedist would not agree, because she told me 6 weeks, no activity. But did I just say my orthopedist? I meant to say, sorry, I'm seeing an orthopedist tomorrow. My surgery doctor who did my hysterectomy, and she's a gynecologist, and she would not agree and probably won't be happy when I tell her. But the thing is, she specializes in surgery. I even had a conversation briefly before surgery with her, asking if she's the one that I would continue working with long-term about my hormone replacement therapy and everything. And she's like, no, she specializes in surgery. So she said she would not be the one to continue on with me long-term for hormone replacement therapy and everything. So I would have to find another doctor for that. And I did some research and narrowed it down, and I'm gonna meet some doctors and then decide. But anyway, the whole point being is that her specialty is surgery. And then my new physical therapist, her specialty is getting women back to exercise and sport after hysterectomies, myomectomies, and surgeries that are that similar. So anyway, a week after surgery, I started doing some movements and exercises. This is my 2nd week. I'm continuing to do them. I'm very excited about it. And tomorrow I actually have my first follow-up with my surgeon. It's a quick follow-up. I think she's just gonna go and check my incisions on the outside to see how they're doing, because it's like a 15-minute appointment. And then the next follow-up after that is gonna be at the 6-week mark, where she checks internally for the vaginal cuff incisions and whatnot. So yeah, So everything's going great. I am working out, so I'm very happy. Mind you, working out in parentheses with what I'm able to do. But still, it's still movement, it's still exercise, so I'm very excited. And I know I'm probably the anomaly in that sense, because I purposely went into surgery strong and fit, and I wanted to make sure that I recover the same way. Okay, yes, I'm doing everything I can to try and prevent muscle loss, but it's gonna happen if I'm not moving the same. I've upped my protein to make sure I'm trying to get as much as I can, and then also taking some supplements to kind of maximize that as well. But yeah, we'll see, but it's gonna be probably longer to get back to where I was before than just the 6-week mark, because what my physical therapist said is, she said, when doctors say no exercise for 6 weeks, they basically are saying, we're good and comfortable with your stitches and we don't think your incisions are gonna open up. But it doesn't necessarily mean your body's ready to jump back in. And that's kind of what I was thinking when I was thinking 6-week recovery. So what I'm doing now is protecting myself, preparing myself, so that down the road I can get back into sport, but it'll most likely take longer than 6 weeks, because that's just the way it is. They said most commonly it'll take 6 to 12 months for many people. Some people could take 3 to 6 months, so we'll see.
Hello everyone, I just got done with meeting Dr. Novoa, my surgeon, for my hysterectomy, and it was my 2-week follow-up appointment. It's just an appointment looking at the incisions on my abdomen to make sure everything's looking good and to go over the results and everything from the surgery. So she said I'm doing great and that the incisions look great, nothing to worry about. And she said that the surgery went well. She took out some of the pieces of my uterus and the fallopian tubes and the cervix out through the vaginal canal, and then some out the belly button. It was a combination of both. And in my previous video, I talked about how they cut it up in little pieces so they can easily remove it. It's called morcellation, I believe. And yeah, so I am very excited. I mean, I feel great, and you know, what else can I say? It's great to know that I'm moving along smoothly. And today was the day that I also disclosed to her that I started working with a doctor of physical therapy that specializes in helping women return back to exercise and sport after myomectomies and hysterectomies and surgeries such as this. So yeah, that's a great thing. And then as far as some of the findings, because I asked her ahead of time, can you take pictures? Can I have, so there's pictures that she gave me, 3 sheets of photos from the camera that was used inside. And then she also sent me pictures that she took of the stuff outside. So I might be sharing those later. And also what's interesting is she's like, it's really good that we did this surgery. She's like, a normal uterus is about 70 grams. Your uterus was 700 grams. And I know in medical speak they use a lot of grams. We tend to use pounds over here in the US. So she said a normal uterus weighs about 0.15 pounds. My uterus weighed 1.5 pounds. No wonder I was in so much discomfort for so long and felt so much pressure and was miserable. My uterus was way too large. I mean, she said I had an enlarged uterus when I went in for the exam, but she said that was just crazy. And so I'm just like, wow, 0.15 grams. I mean, 0.15 pounds, the weight of a normal uterus. And mine was 1.5 pounds. Absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I told her I'm feeling great. I already feel the difference. The one thing that's kind of different after this surgery, especially in the first week, it's not as much now, but a little bit still, is when you're going to the bathroom, whether it's number 1 or number 2, as you're releasing the contents of your bladder and your colon, it's a weird feeling because you feel your organs just shifting downward because there's no uterus taking up that space. And obviously mine was taking up a huge amount of space, which is why my belly was sticking out and everything. And it was just so uncomfortable. And so that's one thing that's different is, you know, when you go to the restroom, you feel everything inside just kind of shift lower because it's, you know, when the bladder and the colon is full, it takes up space, and when you release it, comes out. And previously, you know, my entire life, I never felt that really, you know, but now that all that's gone, because she took out my uterus, all the fibroids that were in the uterus, she took out my fallopian tubes, and she took out my cervix. And one other thing is she also noticed that I had endometriosis and took that out as well. But basically, with all that gone, there's so much more space, and my organs have more room to kind of take up other space. So anyway, that's kind of interesting, but I just wanted to give a quick update. Everything's going great and I'm very happy.